Hello, my students. Our novel this year is called A Tale of Two Cities. A tale means a story, and the two cities are London and Paris. This novel was written by Charles Dickens. Who was Charles Dickens? Charles Dickens was born in Portsmouth, in England, in 1812. He was one of 8 children. When he was 12, his father was imprisoned, and Dickens had to leave school and worked at a polish shoe factory. When his father was released, he returned to school. His hard and difficult life helped him in his novels, and he became one of the most popular novelists of this time. Let's know something about the novel. A Tale of Two Cities is set in London and Paris at the time of the French Revolution at the end of the 18th century. At the time, the king and the French ruling classes had all the power in society. They often treated the poor people badly by charging them high rents and high taxes. So, why was this novel written? This novel was written as a warning to the British society. It showed Britain what could happen if the government didn't do something to balance the inequalities in the British society. Now, let's turn to the main characters of this chapter. Number 1, Mr. Jarvis Lorry, or Mr. Lorry. He was an English banker. He played a key role in returning Lucy with her father, and he became a good family friend of the Mannets. Number 2, Miss Lucy Mannet. She was a pretty, intelligent-looking young lady, no more than 17, with golden hair and blue eyes. And the third character, Devarge. He was Dr. Mannet's old servant, and he became the owner of the cafe in a suburb which called Saint Antoine. Now, let's turn to the summary for Chapter 1. Chapter 1 begins with Mr. Lorry. When he arrived at the Royal George Hotel, he said that he was waiting for a young lady. She would ask for the gentleman from Tellson's Bank in London. He met that lady. She was called Miss Lucy Mannet. She told him that she received a letter from the bank informing her that something had been discovered about her father, who had been dead for so long. Mr. Lorry told her that he was her father's friend, and he brought her to England when her mother died just 2 years after her father. They traveled to Paris together to search for her father. They went to the suburb of Saint Antoine in Paris. Her father was in the house of his old servant Devarge. We said before, Devarge now became an owner of a cafe. They went to Devarge's house and found that Devarge looked Dr. Mannet, or Lucy's father, in a room. When they entered the room, they found a white-haired man was sitting on a bench. He was making shoes. When they asked him about his name, he answered one statement: 105 North Tower. Again, 105 North Tower. Devarge said that was the number of the cell at the prison. Devarge and Miss Lorry left Lucy for some while to sit with her father. She wanted to tell her father everything, but she said that she couldn't tell him there, and she came to take him back to England. Now, let's turn to the questions of this chapter. Question number 1. Why was Mr. Jarvis Lorry traveling to Dover? We said before he traveled to Dover to meet Lucy Mannet. Number 2. How did Miss Mannet look like? How did Miss Mannet look like? She was a pretty, intelligent-looking young lady, no more than 17, with golden hair and questioning blue eyes. Number 3, comment. I received a letter yesterday from the bank informing me that something had been discovered about my father. When you answer the quotation, you will say who said this quotation, to whom, and what was the occasion. These words were said by Miss Manet to Mr. Lorry when she met him in a hotel in Dover. They sent for her to be told information about her father. Question number 4. How did Mr. Jarvis Lorry help Miss Manet at her very young age? He brought her to England when her mother died just 2 years after her father. And now, these questions are your task. You have to read the text and try to answer them. Okay, number 5, comment. Your father didn't die. He was sent to prison. Number 6, what was Miss Manet's reaction to the news of her father? Number 7, comment. Look at this poor girl with her cold hands and her white face. Number 8, describe the suburb of Saint Antoine. Okay, thanks and goodbye with the second chapter soon.